Are there traces of a civilization on Mars, or is our brain playing tricks on us? A debate that started on Joe Rogan's podcast and shook the world after a comment from Elon Musk. Mars has sent back an image, a structure with nearly perfect edges. Some argue that it's just a natural rock formation, while others believe it could be a remnant left behind by aliens. But could there really be remnants of an ancient civilization on Mars? Is there a hidden secret on the red planet waiting to be discovered? If so, this would be a discovery that could change human history forever. Now we're diving deep into this debate and uncovering the truth behind this mysterious image from Mars. By the way, if you enjoy this kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Your support means a lot to me. Welcome to my channel, Discovery of the Mystery, where we will uncover the secrets. Joe Rogan, the world's most popular podcast host. He's sitting across from his guest, discussing a peculiar formation spotted on Mars. The guest responds, "If someone told me this photo was taken somewhere in South America, I'd say it's the remains of an ancient civilization." And indeed, when we look at it, we see a structure with nearly perfect 90-degree angles, forming an almost flawless geometric shape. It's quite impressive. This topic suddenly became a viral sensation when Joe Rogan shared it, and Elon Musk jumped in with a comment. In his response, Musk suggested that we should send astronauts to Mars to investigate. Naturally, social media went wild after this exchange. Some people were convinced this is definitely the work of aliens. Others dismissed it as just a natural rock formation. In reality, we all experience similar psychological phenomena. We see faces in clouds, mistake a coat on a hanger for a person in the dark, and some even claim to see Jesus' face on a piece of toast. This is simply how our brain works. It constantly looks for familiar patterns. Scientists call this phenomenon pareidolia, our tendency to perceive human-like features in inanimate objects or abstract images. We even hear words that aren't really there when listening to music. In 1954, people claimed to see a devil's face on the Canadian dollar bill. Some even said they saw an exaggerated grin hidden in Queen Elizabeth II's hairstyle on the banknote. If we go further back, we can see how pareidolia was intentionally used in art as an expressive tool. Take, for example, the 1566 painting, The Lawyer. The face appears to be a collection of fish and poultry, while the body is a coat-wearing stack of books. We also find examples of this in architecture. In various parts of the world, ancient builders used stone carvings and shadows as design elements. For instance, in some structures, when light hits the entrance at just the right angle, the carvings create the silhouette of a woman's face. So humans have been aware of this tendency for thousands of years, to the point where it has even been used as a creative tool in art and design. But what about this square structure on Mars? Is it just another example of our brain playing tricks on us? To answer that, we need to look at the original image. This photo was captured by the Mars Orbiter camera, a spacecraft that orbited Mars from 1997 to 2006 and sent back 240,000 similar images to Earth. But this is the photo we're going to focus on. It was taken in 2001, nearly a quarter of a century ago. You might think that the structure in the image was only recently discovered, but that's not the case. This formation also made headlines in 2016 and again in 2020. So this isn't the first time this image has sparked debate. If we take another look at the photo, we can see that its sharp edges and structured lines make it quite intriguing. But does it really look like the remnants of an ancient structure? Personally, I think it's something that deserves further investigation. Just imagine, what if we actually discovered an ancient structure on Mars? It would completely rewrite history books. Religious beliefs around the world would be shaken. Humanity would have to redefine its place and significance in the universe. Interestingly, a similar debate emerged in 1894. Astronomer Percival Lowell claimed to have seen canals on Mars. He was so excited by his findings that he funded the construction of a massive telescope to study the planet in greater detail. Before long, he publicly declared that there were canals on Mars and that this could be evidence of intelligent life. In an interview published at the time, Professor Lowell made the following statement: "As the melting of the southern polar cap progresses, the canals begin to appear. Essentially, Lowell was like the Joe Rogan of his time, an influencer in the scientific world. And, just like today, his enthusiasm inspired wealthy and influential people to take interest in his claims. One such person was Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone. In a letter, Bell wrote, "There is no escaping the conclusion that Mars is inhabited by an intelligent and highly civilized race that manages agriculture and sustains itself." Yes, the inventor of the telephone actually wrote that. And the result? There were no canals on Mars. They were purely a product of imagination. The debate finally ended when NASA's Mariner 4 spacecraft was sent to Mars and photographed the planet's surface. Not only were there no canals, but there wasn't even anything that could have been misinterpreted as a canal. Upon closer examination, what Lowell had seen was simply an optical illusion. Looking back, this and similar cases remind us of the importance of skepticism when faced with bold claims and widely accepted assumptions. Now, we're facing a similar situation, but this time you might argue we have better technology. We have actual photographs, and compared to the past, we have far more experienced and knowledgeable scientists. So let's take another look at this photo. We could choose to believe that this is the remnant of an ancient fortress-like structure built long ago. In fact, let's also examine the formation just below it. We could even compare it to a human face. And what's even more intriguing? They're all in the same region. But before jumping to conclusions, let's pause and think for a moment. Do you really believe that there aren't other naturally occurring geometric formations in nature? Of course there are. Let me show you an engraving from 1768. Now imagine if we saw something like this in a photo from Mars. What would we think? Yet this structure exists on Earth and is completely natural. It's a volcanic basalt formation found in Northern Ireland. Here's another example, a geological formation in Turkey. When molten basalt cools and contracts, it naturally cracks into hexagonal columns, forming perfectly structured pillars. So before rushing to conclusions about the images from Mars, taking the time to consider all possibilities is a far more rational approach. Now let's break it down. We have two possible explanations. One, this shape could be the remains of an ancient civilization that built massive structures on Mars. Two, this shape could have formed naturally through geological processes. Which of these explanations do you think is more exciting? Undoubtedly, the idea of discovering the traces of an ancient Martian civilization is a thrilling and imaginative concept. However, when we apply scientific methods and examine available data, it becomes far more likely that these formations were created by natural geological processes. Scientists studying planetary landscapes emphasize that we can observe similar examples on Earth, and in most cases, these formations are the result of natural phenomena rather than artificial construction. So, what do you think? You can share your thoughts on this topic in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed my content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. You can support my channel by liking and commenting on my content. Until we meet again.